Hey everybody, it's Andy here, aka Montolio, and we are back for round 3 of Vintage Challenge. We're playing Dredge today. We have main deck ley lines, and we're going to powder this one. And we're going to powder this one. And that looks great. We're going to keep this. We've got some counter magic, hollow one, and a dredger, and of course the mainstay card, Bazaar. So we're going to feel pretty good about that. Now let's see if we're up against shops here. This player does like to play workshops. But I do believe they have oh wow, Bazaar. Okay. Wonder if they're on Dredge. This is fantastic for me. Okay. Nothing I can do about that. Probably gonna take my hollow one here. Wow, that feels good. Having a main deck ley line. I mean, they could have to force a bigger here. Let's see what they exile here. Okay, a bunch of stuff there. Did find a hollow one. Okay. So the question is do they have a Force of Vigor in hand? I feel like we're in a pretty good position if they don't. I mean, I'm feeling like I'm in a good position, period, here, but obviously that can change very quickly, depending on what my opponent has. So this feels like a vigor here, because they've paused. And that would be pretty nice for them if they did have it. Also possible my opponent is double queued here. It's a little bit of an unfortunate draw there, but I think that's okay. Do this, and next turn we're probably going to go ham with our Bazaar, our second Bazaar. You saw my bottom of my screen there. I have been watching the Rings of Power on Amazon Prime, and oh, it's just so good, guys. If you haven't seen it, I'm really enjoying it. I think you have to understand a little bit of the deeper lore of Lord of the Rings to understand it, like who Galadriel was and Elrond, and if you're seeing it, you don't know their power and what they become. It could be lost on you a little bit. It's so neat to go back and see Galadriel portrayed as a warrior and like the head commander of the Elven army. Like I didn't even know that, and a warrioress versus this graceful ethereal being that she's portrayed as, and almost mystical type figure in Lord of the Rings. So pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. If you're into that sort of thing, I do highly recommend it. I think Amazon Prime has really come out with some fantastic shows over the years. Like The Boys is another good one that I've enjoyed. Okay, so my opponent's attacking for 4 here. My opponent is most likely playing in the Modern Challenge, Showcase Challenge today. It's a pretty big event, and I think a lot of grinders that also play Vintage are likely playing in that event today. So this could be a little bit of a slower match, so I do apologize for the extra banter you're getting in the little amount of play that you're seeing. So why the main deck ley lines? I've kind of been on this build over the last couple months when I do pick up Dredge. I just think that there's a lot of Bazaar running around, both Hollowine, Hogakvine, and Dredge. And of course, this is very good against Dredge, more so than the other 2 builds. In addition, there's Breach that really suffers against Leyline of the Void, and even the Xerox style decks, Jeskai being the main one, despite that is not a prominent deck right now, when you're taking away their ability to delve and whatever it's a Dreadhorde or something like that, it really can hurt it. And it does have splash damage even against some of the other fair decks like Bug. Uh, they're shrinking their Tarmogoyfs and making their Deathray Shamans less effective. So I have found the ley lines to be quite good, and sometimes people just die to it. Like I played against Oops All Spells the other day in game one with a ley line of the void, and they couldn't beat it. It was just once it was in play, they realized and they conceded very quickly. So uh, my point being is, I think in a long-winded way, Leyline of the Void is a very good card right now, and you're most likely to see here in this particular game, anyways, that Dredge is going to have a hard time beating this. Okay, after a long hiatus, guys, we are back. Opponent is going to hit me for 4 damage here. Let's see if they spin here. I suspect they will. I think they need to find a force of vigor here. I do find when people double queuing to be such a poor double queue. I find it to be such a poor play experience on the other end of it. I mean, we've all been victim to it for sure. I don't do it myself. It's very rare that I get stuck in another queue. It only happens at really on challenges where I'm playing a league in between occasionally. Um, I don't enjoy the experience of double queuing, and I really dislike it on the other end of things. Like, my opponent has done 2 clicks here, uh, likely in the last 4 or 5 minutes here. I haven't even been able to get to my second turn here. My opponent's at 15 minutes. So, whereas I burned off a minute and a half. Anyways, I mean, it's a legal thing on Magic Online, and it certainly used to tilt me a lot more a number of years ago. But I wish that people weren't allowed to do it so they could focus on the one game to allow the flow for everybody to be good. Um, I was playing against a Dredge player earlier in the week, and I ran into them a number of times in the queues, and it was like I had like 17, 18 minutes on my clock, all the games, and they were down to like 2 minutes. It was a horrendous play experience, particularly because I was looking to burn off a quick game and get going, and of course that didn't happen. Um, that said, it's the way it goes. All right, so I think we're just going to get going here. And hopefully we can have a really nice dredge here. I mean, we certainly should. We have double Bazaar. Now, will I actually get to click on my card here is a whole nother story. All right, let's see what we hit. Didn't hit much. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to get rid of that. And I think Mindbreak Trap is likely better at this stage in the game because we're never drawing another card again. Or we shouldn't. As long as we had our Dredger here, we won't be. And we did. And there is the Amalgam. And we're going to Dredge draw. Or no, we're not. We're going to Bazaar here. And there we go, double shell. Okay, so not amazing by any means, but hit a chill. And we're going to play out a hollow one here. And hopefully they don't have vigor. Your play. We do have a couple bridges. I'll probably just chump with the Narcomoeba here. So, what did my opponent discard? Okay. They shouldn't want to attack here. 19. So we have to be cognizant that we've gone through a substantial portion of our deck here. And I don't think we need to do much else here in this particular game. My opponent has decided to concede here. And we will take the game 1 win. So in mirrors, I like all of these in a surgical extraction, and I side out Mind Break Trap, usually 1 force, 2 force negations. Oh, we need the Dredger there. Probably don't think Grief is where I want to be at. And we need to take 2 more cards out here. And I think Thug is likely a good one to come out. I think I'll just cut a bridge here. Something to this effect. Let's try this. Okay, that's an easy powder. No ley line this time. But I think it's fine. If we can find a blue card for this force, I wouldn't mind having that ley line. Okay, so we do have the vigor here. I don't think I'm too worried about force of will out of my opponent. Let's see if they play a hollow one here. So they got some good stuff going here. Okay, so that's why I waited. It's a little bit greedy. And if they have a force of will here, it's not good for me. But that said, we definitely are going to feel good about having an answer to their two big plays here. They do have a force, so we did get burned. Okay. So I think we are unlikely to win this game as a result of that. But, I mean, let's see. Right, we are definitely wastelanding here. We have to hope they don't have anything. And they didn't. We're still very behind here, though. We need to be able to get rid of that ley line to be able to pull ahead. I guess our hope is that they are unable to hit dredgers off the two dredges that they have in the yard there. That's our best bet. Okay, so we got away with 1. Oh no, they hit a stinkweed imp here. Okay, well, I mean, it is what it is. So there is part 1. They don't have a bazaar. So I'm going to play out the hollow one here. They probably do want to do it. Yeah, and they did. So they're going to go with the stinkweed and see, hope it hits. And it hit a grave troll. Boy, that's rough for me. So they're way ahead of me here, and I don't think I'm going to have the luxury of being able to win this game, but we'll see. Yeah. Not optimal. And we're pretty much dead here. Let's see what we can find. Wow, look at that. Right, so what we'll do is we'll get rid of this, and this, something like that. I mean, we're just dead, right? They can't Icarid here. Guess I can hit their hollow one. Let's do it. pretty good. Just got to dodge those chills now. Oh, that's brutal. And they hit a thug as well. Yeah, I mean, we put up a good fight here, considering. Just a little bit too low, so they're going to put us to 3 here, and we can't come back from that. We'll get rid of the silver smoke. Let's draw here. Okay, did not win this game. The Bizarre Mirror is just a very nuanced matchup. It's just such a flimsy setup with reference to, you know, who has what at what time. Let's try this. Let's get a good hand here, guys. Can't keep this one. Powder this one away. Put the dredger back in there. Put a stinkweed. There we go. That's great. So I'm going to put back the hollow one and the Force of Will. So let's see if we can dodge the ley line here. My opponent's down to 3. Oh, they do have it. Those sons of guns. Okay. They do not have a Bazaar by the look of it. And we're gonna try and do it. What's going on here? 1. Okay. Why is it making me pay? Oh, it's my turn. That's why. I just skipped my turn. Oops. That's not ideal, is it, guys? That was a pretty big mistake. Wow, I hope they don't have Force of Will here. Okay, do they have a Force of Vigor themselves? It's bizarre. Can't really use that, though. Okay, we didn't find it. Did they have a Vigor? They do not. Wasteland, okay. It's pretty good. I don't think I need to do this here. I think what I'm going to... You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to play the Bazaar. And then Noxious Revival this back on top. That's what I'm going to do. And sure, they could have a counter spell or something like that, but I think that's all right. It's improbable that they've got the counter, but they might. Let's go. Here go. They're digging for that vigor. Phew. Just holding my breath. I need to find a dredger actually fairly desperately here. Like, there we go. There we go. We're off to the races now. Awesome. Okay. Let's hope. Great. Okay. Of note, we have 20 cards here, guys. I think this is fine. Don't need to do more than this, I don't think. Probably didn't need to be that greedy, to be honest with you, and dredge there. Get rid of stinkweed here. I honestly don't know that we need to do more here. We're going to have our bridges here. Yeah, just a nice clean win there. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like and subscribe button, and we're going to see you for round 4.